Welcome back to Conversations with Cam. I am so excited about today's episode because I love today's guest, and I think that it is such a wonderful episode for parents, and I hope that parents leave this episode feeling informed and educated, and most importantly, empowered. I really want this takeaway to be like, okay, now I know how to navigate these certain situations, and maybe that means you're changing a few things. Even I left this episode and texted my husband. I was like, I want to change a few things in the sense of how we purchase and have out toys and how we're really focusing on that play-based parenting. And I don't want anyone to feel shamed around things that they're doing, because that's not at all the intention. The intention is to provide tools and information and education around play-based parenting so that if it's something you're interested in, you now have the information on how to pursue that. So today's guest is Dr. Jennaca Cotton, a professor of education and literary specialist who is an expert when it comes to play-based parenting. I was so excited to chat with her specifically about this topic because I just kind of sort of fell into this style of parenting without, quite honestly, any real research or knowledge. And now you can hear it straight from an expert and not just myself as a mom sharing her lived experience. Dr. Cotton was also involved in the making of Quiet Your Mind and Busy Your Hands Kids. If you have not checked out our kids edition, it is truly one of my favorite things that I've ever been a part of. And I'm so proud of this product. And I just love how much you all are loving it as well. Having her expertise and stamp of approval on the product was so important to me. And I think really helped provide that confidence from a consumer's perspective when purchasing this product of like, oh, this is actually how it is going to help my child with their emotional intelligence or their language around gratitude and all of the things that it does. So I loved working with her. You guys can check that out at quiet-your-mind.com. And in this episode, she breaks down what play-based parenting really means and talks about the importance of independent play for your child. She shares advice for parents on how to transition from playtime to serious, which I know is difficult for many of us. How to ready your kid for kindergarten, why reading to your child is essential, and also her take on screen time and the best toys for your kids when it comes to your child's development. This episode is also brought to you by Lovevery, an early child company that makes play more fun and parenting easier. I have been a huge fan of Lovevery for years now, and I got to sit down with the founder, Jessica Rolfe, for a mini segment that you'll hear within this episode to talk more about play-based parenting and the play products. Lovevery was created to help you with your child's development at every stage, and you can now use code CAM10 to save 10% off your entire order. This episode is really meant to be helpful for parents and to relieve you of the stress or anxiety that you're not doing enough, and it's a reminder to all of us that sometimes you just need to let kids play. And I know all the parents out there are going to love this episode, so I hope you enjoy it. Without further ado, here is Dr. Jennaca Cotton.
Come on in, take a seat, pour a drink, pass one to me. Conversations with Cam, talking life, come join the fam. Throw away your hesitations, have unfiltered conversations. If you've got an ear to lend, here's Conversations with Cam.
I feel like so many people are going to love this episode.
I hope so.
No, I really think they are, because I
hope
know
so.
we've talked about this
Yes.
over like
Yes.
DM, then
Yes.
email, then text, and it's something I feel really passionately about, and I
Yeah.
know it is something you feel passionately about. But I'm excited because you're actually an expert, and like
Thank you.
you have the degree and the credentials to be speaking on this, where I just have like my lived experience as a mom to be like, oh, I love play-based parenting, but not about how it's actually potentially like benefiting my kids.
But I want to give you kudos because your lived experience and your intuition is spot on.
Wow, thank
And I
you.
know I've told you this, but like the things that you're telling me you're doing, what I see on Instagram, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, she gets it. Like this is what the experts are
Okay,
telling
thank you
us to
so
do.
much.
Even as simple as how you were saying getting them to do bedtime. You like make it into a race.
Oh my God.
You make it into a game.
Honestly, and we can get into that, but like I don't know, every parent is different, but like one of the hardest moments in our household is getting the kids to stop playing to go upstairs for bedtime.
Transition.
Like that transition upstairs is just meltdown city.
Yep.
And I'll be like, guys, come on, we got to go upstairs, 5 minutes, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, no. And then I'm like, Dad, and I hate that I'm like referencing him as daddy, but whatever. I'll be like, Daddy,
It never
tonight-
stops being weird.
we're going to win. And they look at each other and they fucking book it.
Yeah.
Like drop everything, book it to the stairs because it's like kids against parents. So
It's play.
it's play.
They just want to play.
And I don't know where, like, I'm not someone who does research or reads a lot of parenting books. I am very follow my intuition and gut and just kind of hope for the best. I don't know if that's good or bad or whatever, but I'm happy to hear that's
Your
kind
gut's
of
on. Yeah.
the right track. So for people listening, can you actually just lay out your credentials so that they can
of course.
go into this being like, okay,
Yeah,
got it.
my background is in education, and I am an educator. I like to joke I'm teaching teachers is what I do every day. I'm a professor of education, but I started as a first grade teacher, so that's kind of like where my heart is. That's where everything started. I'm a literacy specialist. While I was teaching, I went back to school and got my reading specialist credential and really like zoned in on teaching reading. And then I'm a nerd, so I did not stop school, and I went back and got a professional education doctorate in educational leadership, but it emphasized educational psychology, because I loved the idea of like looking at the whole person, the whole brain, and understanding how I as an adult learn is actually very similar to how a kid learns, and applying that to everything. So,
So you're very well versed.
yeah, exactly.
In this space.
Exactly.
And we can absolutely take this expert advice.
yes.
And then I also want to say, for anyone who might recognize your name, you were so wonderfully involved in Quiet Your Mind Kids, which honestly is like one of my favorite things I've ever created. And it was so wonderful to work with you because not only did we align so quickly on like the goals of the product and what it was meant to do and how it worked and whether it was working and all of the things, but I really found that having that stamp of approval from a professional expert is so beneficial, especially when creating a product for kids, which was something that I absolutely wanted when putting something out there. So I want to quickly say thank you.
It was a joy. It was so much fun. It was like, I nerd out about all of this stuff, and what a gift to be a part of something that I then was able to do with my kid and that we do together, which I know you feel. Yes. Like, what a gift to be able to add to the kid products in a meaningful way rather than just more noise. And like, I think you said it, there's so much snake oil out there.
Yes.
Like, there's so much like, buy this, buy this, buy this, do this ad, do this, whatever the course is. And it was nice. No, this actually stems from really good literacy practice. This is great for emotion regulation. This is actually something that works. And we know it works because it works for us.
Right.
Like, journaling helps me as an adult, and it's now helping my kid.
Yes. I mean, the product makes me so freaking happy. I can't even begin. So I know I mentioned to you, and I've talked about it a lot, that like without any research or real reasoning, like I just kind of fell into play-based parenting. But for someone who either isn't a parent or is not practicing that methodology or just has never heard it, how do we describe play-based parenting?
Yeah, I think play is tricky for experts to define because what does it actually mean, right? And different experts from different fields are going to define it as something different. But I see it as like kid is engaged, kid is interested, kid is finding joy out of their, activity, whatever it might be. And so having that play-based parenting, play-based household is you are focusing on play as an important thing in your home. So whether it means helping you with transitions or, creating a physical environment that's conducive to their play, you're not just handing them an iPad all day and saying like, oh, go be entertained by some external factor. It's they are entertaining themselves, or you are engaging with them in some kind of entertainment. They're getting joy out of it. They're engaging in it. So I think that engagement piece is really important because they're actually a part of it, right? So different from like a lot of toys, and we can talk about this later, but like there's a lot of toys that kid is just sitting watching. Like we love Hot Wheels in our house. Big, like, oh my God, cars are everywhere.
Cars are everywhere.
The Hot Wheels are new for us. F1 is new for us.
Oh,
this
we've
is
talked
like
about
a
this,
new obsession. My husband works for Red Bull. So we got to go to F1 in Vegas. It was so much fun. I have never cared before this, and now I'm like all in, thanks to Drive to Survive. But our son got into it because we were going. I showed him like a 5-minute clip, and he was like hook, line, and sinker. Now it's all he wants. But there's like Hot Wheels tracks that you put the Hot Wheel on, and it just goes like zoom, 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 and he just watches it. Fine. But that's so different than like he and I got this tape that we put all over the living room. And then he is doing these races back and forth between his Lando Norris and his Max Verstappen. And he's like, he knows like all the people. And then Ferrari comes in and Ferrari knocks him off. And he's narrating the whole thing. And it's this whole imaginative play that's happening. That is so different than sitting and watching the Hot Wheels go around and around and around.
Okay, so that's very interesting. Because I don't think we talk about the difference, and I want to get into this later, but I want to now, we can just dive in, of like the difference of toys.
Yeah.
Because in my mind, I'm like, oh, great, Hot Wheels. Like they're playing with cars. Okay, that's like interactive play. They're doing stuff. There's no screen. Perfect. And we have one of the Hot Wheels thing that's like you put it on, you just push it, and it zooms to the end, and then they like go get it, and they do it again, whatever. And my younger son loves that, the 2-year-old, and my 4-year-old is like not really into that, but he is someone who is like, he's such a figurine kid. Like if you gave him 5 figurines, he could sit in the corner of that room for, I'm not even kidding, 2 hours and just be like telling a story with them, and he recreates the movies he watches. He's like meant to be a theater kid. And fully like reenacts scenes with these characters. So he's a very interactive kid, but we don't really have many like toys.
Which is okay. And actually I think that's really good because like right now in my home we've gotten a little since Christmas.
Yeah, Christmas is real
And I
hard.
tried so hard. I tried to like put the limit on. Like we did not give a ton of toys. But people get excited and I get it and I love it and I appreciate it so much. But it's like our living room is our play space. We have a small home. So the living room is the play area. It is exploding. Like I'm losing my mind and I'm noticing they're not playing as well because when it's too much, their brain is overloaded. So like in the same way when I walk up to my desk and it's full of shit everywhere, right? I'm like, oh, I don't know where to start. They're kind of like that with play.
Right.
And they bounce too fast to different things and they're not really engaging in one thing. So when you have less toys, I think it's good because less is more. They go deeper in something. It's been on my list. I got a cold.
I know, but it's so hard because I go to clean it out and then my older son is like, where is that random small blue Spider-Man toy that I played with a year ago and I haven't seen in a few days?
And that's hard. I do the clean outs when they're not in the house.
Same,
so
but like he'll pick it up.
But he'll remember.
Yeah, he'll remember. Yeah. And it'll be something that he literally hasn't touched in forever. But I agree, we do. And he knows. I say like, let's go through and we donate. And sometimes he helps me. Sometimes I do it when they're not there.
But even the clean out, we do the closet switch out.
Okay, so talk to us about this.
So and again, I need to go through and like deep clean their closets to make some room, but I'll do some things out in the play space and the rest of it goes in the closet. And I tell my 4-year-old, hey, your brain does better when you don't have too much stuff out. Like it's better for you to not have an explosion of toys. Your brain just plays better. Does he love it? No, but I just keep talking to him about it and talking to him. I don't involve him yet in the switch out because like that's a whole thing. And how do you know?
Are you telling him like, oh, if you want that thing, it's in the closet?
Yes.
Yep. You really want to go get it? Or is it like out of sight, out of mind?
It's mostly out of sight, out of mind, but there is the random character that he will like fixate on.
Yes.
Like trash cans have been a thing in our family since he was 18 months. The trash truck and the trash cans. I don't know where it came from. It is a whole thing. So he has like this whole little crew of trash cans. And I took one and gave it to the baby the other day when he wasn't there. And he like found it, saw it, noticed it, flipped out because it's his trash can. I'm like, this thing is broken. What do you care about this, right? He cares. So I'll usually say like, hey, we're getting a little too chaotic here. Give me a few things I can put in the closet and just take some time away from it. Because he has like his Hot Wheels, his F1 cars. Like right now I'm picturing my living room. Legos are a brand new obsession. Yeah. So there's Legos everywhere. But he also has like his little dollhouse and his figurines out. And I'm like, this is too much.
Is there like a limit? Is there a number that like you want to try to get to or no?
I don't think number so much as following your kid's interest. Okay. So what are they interested in right now? Like what's the hyper obsession right now? Have that out. But like he loves playing with the dollhouse, but he hasn't played with it for a while. So having a conversation with him, hey, can I put this away for a little bit? Or is this something you want out? Okay. If you want this out, great. What's something else you're not really into that we can put away? Because I'm just feeling like we have a lot of crap out that we don't need to play with. The baby especially, he's 17 months. He needs a lot less out physically. So it's been on my to-do list for like a month to just put it in the closet and have more meaningful play out in the
Because I noticed my younger son specifically, he just like bounces and like he's
Part of
moving
it is
from
his age.
toy to toy to toy to toy to toy. And my older son is an incredible independent player, and my younger son has not figured that out.
Yeah.
And I think my older son was at that age, so I'm like trying to navigate that. In terms of toys, and you gave us a perfect example of the Hot Wheels and then like building your own track with tape and like that kind of thing. What are some other toys that you're seeing that you either love or you wish people weren't buying?
I love blocks.
Okay.
Unit blocks is a big one.
Okay.
I went on like a deep nerd dive into like preschool toy blocks, you know, and I found this like random preschool supplier, and it has all these different sizes. There's like flat longs, there's unit pieces like this, teeny little ones that like ones that can be like I don't even know how to say it, but they're like round and long, and they build on each other. So they're all wood, like all the blank space of the wood, you know, no colors. Love unit blocks, and we just keep adding. Like that's something I asked for Christmas, like add on to the unit blocks.
Right. Okay.
Magnetiles.
I was gonna say, do you like Magnetiles?
Oh, the best. They're just the best. The trickiest part, but I think it's also good with Magnetiles, is how easily they break.
So easy.
Because, and it's so hard. I have a big emotional kid. Like he is.
I get it.
People call it spicy. He is strong-willed. Like
Yeah.
he is big personality. My husband looks at me every day and he's like, copy paste.
Yeah.
You made you. And I'm like, okay, you don't have to like shove
Rub
it
it
in my
in.
face.
Yeah.
He's a big personality. I'm
Yeah.
not surprised. But the Magtiles have been hard because like they fall apart so easily,
Yeah.
right? And it's actually been hard, but also great because it's moments to teach him regulation, working through the frustration. Hey, do you want me to help you? Do you think you can handle it on your own?
Yep.
It's okay. Things break. We can put them back together, right? So
Yeah.
it's like plus negative.
Yes.
So love Magtiles, love blocks. I really love what they're interested in. So like I found, you know, a simple, silly, like really, it was probably from like 15, 20 years ago, and offer up a little very plain, what is it, Melissa and Doug dollhouse, very simple. Because I was like annoyed that all the dollhouses online were like so
Girly.
girl heavy.
Yeah.
Yes. And it is, we have like baby dolls in the house. Like I don't care what colors they use, but I didn't want it to be like in his face
Yeah.
of like, this is how you're supposed to play with it. So I wanted very simple, no batteries, simple. But to get him to play with it, I went and got his favorite characters. So he was probably 2-ish when I started this. Daniel Tiger was a big deal. Went and found like on Amazon little Daniel Tiger figurines. Now it's like the cars he plays with.
Yeah.
Like Buzz and Woody, Toy Story is a brand new
So
thing in
lots
our
of
house.
figurines also.
Lots of figurines. Just think
Okay.
anything open-ended and imaginative. Like what can they build? What can they add on?
Yeah.
Hot Wheels we love, but a Hot Wheels set that my mom actually found that's not battery operated. It's just like it clamps to the top of a bookshelf.
okay.
You've probably seen it.
I've seen it on
and
a
it goes and it
window.
goes woo-choom, but you can
Yeah.
add track to it. So they like him and his cousins created this whole like intricate
Yeah.
Hot Wheels track. That's open-ended. They're engaging in it. They're like building something. They can still race, and that's super fun. But it's like
They're not just
part of
sitting there
something
watching
bigger.
it.
Yeah, exactly.
What about like a company like a Lovevery?
Biggest fan of Lovevery. How do you say it?
I don't know.
Lovevery.
I say
Lovevery.
I say Lovevery, but it might be Lovevery.
I don't know.
I don't know. I love
don't
their
know.
stuff, and I've been like a
Obsessed.
paying customer for
Me
years.
too.
Okay.
I have bought everything.
Same,
I think the
'cause I
only thing
love
we
their
don't
toys.
have is the play kitchen. I
Yeah.
love their reading skill set. I love like every toy set, but they're so
Yeah.
great. You can tell like the quality's really great
Yep.
for long lasting. You can tell they have child development experts
Yes.
on the team thinking through things.
Quick break in today's episode to chat with today's sponsor, Lovevery. We are joined by Jessica Rolfe, who is the CEO and co-founder, and I'm a huge fan of Lovevery. I have been a paying subscriber of their products since my first son was born. It is my number one recommendation to parents, especially as like a baby registry gift, to get on their subscription. Their play kits are incredible. Not only is there so much like ease in a subscription because you don't have to think about getting the new toys for the right age, but it really makes sense. The toys come at the perfect time. They are science backed. We'll talk about it in this quick like mini segment, but there is a reason they come at the time they come, and it all builds on itself. The products last for so long. I cannot say enough positive things. So We're going to chat with Jessica and learn a little bit more about the company, and then you can also shop their products by using the discount code and link in the show notes. What led you to create Lovevery?
So I spent the last 17 years in early childhood. So my first business, I co-founded an organic baby food company called Happy Baby, and we became the #1 organic baby food company in the US. And in that process, I really understood what was going on with my child's body, what nutrition they needed. But I didn't understand what was going on with their developing brains. There's so much happening in terms of development, but we don't get much information as parents. You get like the pediatrician checklist. And so I discovered this white paper, this doctoral thesis on infant brain development. And it talked about these development windows that are opening and closing in a child's brain. And it had nothing to do with these plastic flashing lights toys that I had in my house. And it had everything to do with experiences that my child was craving at certain windows of time. I felt so confident when I had this knowledge. I started making my own toys. I started giving my child these play experiences. And so that's how Lovevery was born.
I love Lovevery because it seems silly, but no one explains to you how to play with your child at that age, especially. For someone who's never heard of Lovevery, can you explain what the company offers?
So at Lovevery, we take the science of learning and we turn it into play experiences that just delight children and really connect children to their caregivers, their parents. And so we work with neuroscientists and experts in physical development and speech and language, and we distill all this really nerdy science and information into something that's really simple and joyful and playful and actionable for parents. And so we're all about bringing you the right play at the right time so your child can feel joy and learning, and you can feel confident that you're giving your child the very best start in life.
Honestly, I love as a parent when the company does the hard work and then they're like, here you go.
I think it's more than about convenience. I think some people think, oh, I could recreate this, or why is this, so difficult? We do take a lot of nerdy science and distill it down to just what's essential for you to know, but give you the why.
Can we talk about battery operated toys? Like what are your feelings around battery operated toys and how they're actually impacting brain functionality?
The toys that do the most work, that talk, that flash, that where you push a button and all of a sudden all these things happen, actually give the least opportunity to a child to learn. When the toy is simple and it is stage-based and just has a lesson in it where the child is doing all the work, that is so much more healthy for a child's brain than the toys that do all the work for them.
In today's world, it feels like parents have more information than ever between social media, books, like courses, all of the things. Yet it still feels so confusing. Why do you feel that parenting feels harder in today's world with all this information?
Parents actually don't need more information. What parents need is just the right information in a bite-sized way, in a warm, empathetic voice that's simple and clear, that helps them know what to do.
I also feel with that, there's this huge focus on milestones. I know I felt it immensely with my first, whether it was the crawling, the walking, the talking, all of those things. Are we focusing on the wrong thing?
I remember thinking, comparing my baby to my friend's baby and feeling like, oh, he's not crawling yet, or he's not doing tummy time and pushing up the same way. And you can even compare your own babies. But again, these are oftentimes physical outcomes, and there is so much mental and cognitive development that is happening under the surface that is very hard to detect or to see as an outcome. And it's about pouring this love and intention and giving experiences to your baby and knowing that will come back to you, tenfold in their development later, and sort of trusting that process.
For people who now are like, I need these toys immediately, where can they go shop everything you guys have to offer?
Lovevery.com. So we have all of our products are available there. We have our learning system from birth to age 5. We have a Learn to Read program. We also offer products on Amazon and Target and Walmart. You can find it a lot of different places.
Well, thank you so much.
It's been so great being here. Thank you.
What about battery operated toys?
Okay. I don't want to
give your strong opinion.
No. I don't want to offend. I'm not.
But I
a
want
huge
anyone
fan.
to say who's listening to this. I just want to say none of this is meant to feel like you are being judged or like you are doing something wrong or like you're failing at all.
No.
This is all information that you can take or leave. I always say take any parenting advice, run it through the filter of your parenting style, because I will see many things and I'm like, that is simply not how I parent. It doesn't apply to me. And take it or leave it. But maybe it's a way that's like, oh, this actually changes my opinion on thing, or this is advice I need to hear, and now I can adjust.
Yeah.
Or you can ignore it.
100%.
Up to you.
There are some great battery-operated toys, but what happens with the toy doing the engagement is you miss the engagement piece of the kid engaging, right? And creating and building and exploring. And you also miss like the social connection with the parent. So in the baby sphere, if we think of like tummy time, I'm not opposed to putting a cool little battery operated toy in front of them.
Crap.
Yes, exactly, because it gets them to stay in tummy time. But that should not be their whole tummy time experience. It should also be like you, mom or dad or caregiver, or grandparent, whomever, on the floor, eye to eye, doing, it's called serve and return. The baby gives you something, you return it. All of that is like the most incredible neuron building experience, the social thing, because we're meant to be social. We are built to be social people. Our brains are social. So when you have the battery toy and the toy is doing the thinking for the kid, that's a bit of I don't want to call it a problem, but it kind of is, because it's interrupting the beauty of the play that they could be creating on their own. So I usually am like, no batteries in my house. We have a few things. So we have like the Fisher Price.
Same way, but that's from a stimulation standpoint.
And it's overstimulating.
I
as the adult.
I cannot
And I think it's
stand
overstimulating for the kids. Like it's too much. Like we have the little Fisher Price farm because I think it's such a cute, wonderful 1-year-old toy. But like the other day, my 17-month-old is just like pressing it over and over and over. And I'm losing my mind. And I'm looking at him like, you're not playing. You're just getting a response of a noise. Like, this is not good play, you know? Yeah. So we have a lot of, or like we have a play vacuum. That is battery operated.
Okay. Yeah.
That is like such a great toy for him. Involves him in chores, like, you know, all of those pieces. So wonderful. So when you're thinking about a toy, try to think of like, will my kid be passive in this play or active in this play?
That's helpful.
You know?
Because like that's a helpful filter to look through when buying any toy.
Are we just going to sit and have it come at us? And now apparently there's AI toys.
Yeah.
That's like a whole other, and I've like been sticking my head in the sand with AI because I don't want to deal with it. But it's
very
bad.
real.
Like that, the AI toy thing, I would very much highly recommend avoiding AI toys.
Good.
Do not get AI toys.
How does play-based parenting positively impact aspects of like cognitive development, fine and motor skills, like all of that list of things that we want children?
Yeah. So play is, I think, a secret sauce of childhood that most of us as adults look at and we think nothing is happening. But in actuality, there's explosions of brain connections happening, right? So, you know, I have parents say like, well, when he's, say, building his tracks for his F1 thing, like, what does that have to do with math? Like, well, math is about, you know, space and where things fit in this space and timing. And he's counting down and we're counting the cars. Like, play has everything to do with what they end up having to do in academics later. But we're encouraging their curiosity. We're encouraging them as explorers and discoverers and like builders, all the things we actually want them to do in school later without shoving, you know, like really difficult tasks down there or boring tasks on them. Like what 2-year-old wants to do flashcards? That's so boring, right? But a 2-year-old building a block tower, what they're learning from that with the spatial reasoning, the counting, the emotional piece of it, the regulation piece, the tower falls, we have to put it back together, the social component when they bring you into their play, like it's endless what play gives. But I think as adults, we don't see it. It's not quantifiable. Right?
Because you're not able to be like, oh, because of this, he now does
this.
That.
Exactly. Yeah. It's so much more nuanced, and we're playing the long game.
Right.
So we are planting seeds in parenthood from day one. You plant tiny little seeds, right? Like in your attachment with your baby, those tiny first newborn moments, that is a seed you're planting for that attachment for the rest of their life. Same with play. So when you teach them to play on their own, when they're engaging in play on their own, when they're problem solving, when they don't immediately ask you to do something for them, but they figure it out on their own, think about what that is teaching them as a 20-year-old. Right.
No, I know, because emotional resilience is something that I think about a lot because my kids are living a very privileged life. Yes. And I'm like, I want to make sure that you have that resilience later in life.
That the smallest thing doesn't set you off the edge.
In terms of independent play, how does one encourage that?
It's such a big one because it's hard. And I think, again, I don't want to hurt feelings or cause issues, but I think that we have had so much pressure on us as millennial parents to do everything, like be the best, do the best, right?
Yeah.
And I think part of that has been being entertainment for our kids.
And constant.
Like you feel guilty as a parent if you walk away from your kid,
Yeah.
right? But I was really lucky. My mom actually taught me this when my first son was a baby, because she's an infant development specialist. She's a nurse. She worked for public health for years, and so she'd go into the home and teach parents about parenting and child development. So she taught me all of this, and I was like constantly playing and interacting with my son in tummy time, which is great, fabulous, that's wonderful. But she was like, you can back off a little, like just back off just a little, like let him play a little, interact with him. Duh, obviously that's the most important thing. But then like go do some dishes. He's right there next to you. Keep an eye on him, but let him entertain himself for 5 minutes. And then you know, I built on that slowly. You feel guilty at first because you feel like you're abandoning them. But in actuality, you're giving them the greatest gift you could possibly give them, which is entertaining themselves.
I feel like I did this subconsciously with our first because we didn't have like childcare. I was kind of like a working but stay at home. Like it was confusing. We had like a babysitter come in the beginning like once a week, and like my mom and mother-in-law kind of helped, but it was a jigsaw puzzle. So there was a lot of him just being like, here, you'll be in this room while I'm working out, but like here are your books and things. And so he got really good at independent play. And then I feel like with my second, there's such guilt with second kids in general of like, am I giving you enough attention? So I would feel badly when I was with him to have him do something and not be like on top of him. And I feel like it's kind of come back to bite me in the
You're
ass.
living my life. This is exactly how I feel. And also like my childcare, I've smoothed out a little bit more than when I had my
now
first.
we have like a full-time nanny.
Yes.
And also the second has the first always kind of around.
Yes.
So they're not alone as much.
Exactly. So that has been a challenge in our home for sure. And I had a little like aha moment like around Christmas again, where I was watching him and was like, oh, we got to work on this.
Yeah.
So you do it in small bites. Like you don't want to just start leaving your kid alone for an hour.
Right.
They will lose their mind. My favorite account, my brain doesn't work anymore as a mom. Workspace for Play, I want to say, or Workspace for Children. Lizzie Asa, I think is how you say her name. She just came out with a book. I'm super excited to read it. She talks so much about this. She's fabulous with really good, simple, like easy videos to watch. But it's all about, I would say 2 things. Start small, like bite, baby steps towards longer time, and then follow their interest. So create a space that is all about what they're into. All about what they're
That's
into.
the other thing I feel like I fail with the second. Because the first is more, when he's older, he's like, oh, I really want this, and can we get these, and blah, blah, blah. And then our younger son just like plays with our first toys.
100%. So our younger son is obsessed with his older brother. Like the obsession is so intense, and that's a whole other thing I'm working through, because like the oldest loves him, but also like don't touch my toys, don't touch my toys. It's a whole thing, right? Oh my gosh, like it's a whole thing. But he's obsessed with his older brother and wants his older brother's toys. So I'm like, great. So I got him a trash truck. I got him his own little trash cans.
Right, it's similar.
He is so into it right now. And then I was like trying to teach my older, hey, come sit with us. Let's show him how to play with this. Because they don't always, it's not intuitive. Like play is natural for kids, but they don't always know how to do it, if that makes sense. It feels counterintuitive, but it is natural, but they're always going to want us to do everything for them. That's just human nature, right? Exactly. So kind of guiding them at first to do it, and then you walk away, not in the other room. Like being in the same space is really important. But I go and I like do a set of dishes, or I will, start tidying up the table or something. So I'm there and I'm like, oh, wow, that looks cool, bud, right? And like interacting with him still, but he's there entertaining himself. Small steps, to the point where now like my 4-year-old is like your 4-year-old, where he will go play in his room for an hour by himself. Does not want me bothering him, doesn't want me talking to him.
Give me space.
It's so good for him. It is so good for him.
And it's great for us, I'm not going to lie.
It's great for us because we need our space too. And like it is not neglectful to teach them to entertain themselves. Because we have kids getting to school age now who cannot like their attention span is so horrific because they don't know how to sit and be the entertainment on their own. A
listener question that actually kind of ties into this is, how do you have the energy for play while working and having time for yourself, and how to have and find the energy to do this day in and day out?
Well,
and
you
I think
don't.
It's to,
We don't
I think
have
it's to
the energy.
encourage
let them
Independent
play. Yes, independent play. I don't want to say never play with your kid because playing with your kid is also super, super important. We do a lot of like play acting with the figurines to work through those big emotions. Like I worry so much about the resilience. Like the smallest thing sets him off. And I'm like, oh my God, we have to build more resilience. I have to have you work through this frustration. Like this is not conducive to a lifetime of emotional health. So we do a lot of that. There's a lot, like you want to connect with your kid, right? But it should not be their whole play experience. Like they need to play by themselves. Especially, this is my number one rec when somebody asks, how did you go from 1 to 2? Like give me some good suggestions. My number one thing is make sure your toddler can play by themselves, because I don't think I could have survived a second if my first, the amount, like just breastfeeding, the amount of time breastfeeding takes. And I would go breastfeed and be like, dude, you got this. And I have the space set up. He's not getting into Sharpies. He's not getting into stuff that would be a total meltdown at City. But I would leave him alone for 30 minutes. I could hear him. He's in the other room. He knows to come to me to ask for help. But for the most part, he would entertain himself. I could not have survived that if
I feel the same
if
way.
I hadn't had a kid who knew how to do it.
And I also think that that's such a... Like sometimes I just feel as parents, we want reassurance or like permission to do things.
Yeah.
And I think that that's such permission for the parents who feel bored by play, that like you don't have to be doing it 24/7 at all.
Yes.
Another listener question that is also on this is advice for moms who don't like imaginative play.
I feel like I'm such an imaginative person, and then you ask me to play with my kid and I like get a block. I don't know what to do. I'm like, can I just go sit on the couch and read my book?
Yes.
And you can play.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, here's the story. Go take care of it.
Which, by the way, I do.
Yeah.
Like, I tell him, like, hey, you're going to have your fun, and I'm going to go sit and read for 30 minutes, and we're going to do this side by side, and I'll chat with you. But anyway, I think it's really hard. I think with imaginative play, the best thing you can do as a parent is act out scenarios that are going to help them. So, big Daniel Tiger fans, think of like how a Daniel Tiger episode is through play, showing them how these kids solve problems, how they try new foods, so we do a lot of like, wow, I'm feeling really frustrated that my friend, kicked over my table. What do I do? Or whatever it is, right?
No, I
And
make
kind
my
of
son
play
like
it out.
recreate
Yes.
things. I'll be like, okay, now let's pretend I'm XYZ at school and you are yourself. And I say, blah, 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 blah. What do you say?
Exactly.
And like we do a bit of
And you
sorts.
can do that, the two of you, especially the theater kid coming out.
Well,
right?
He likes to act
Yes.
them out. Like we're always in character.
And you're following his interests. That's like the number one thing is you are seeing what he likes and who he is, and you are running with it, even if it's uncomfortable for you.
Yeah.
Like that's so beautiful. That's saying to your son, like, I honor who you are. I'm celebrating who you are. Let's go for
He's
it.
never calling us mom or dad. Like we're different characters.
love
Every
that
week it changes. Every day it changes. Like he is
I love that.
always in character.
But think about what his
always in
brain
dress.
is doing. Like
I know.
that is so incredible.
No, his
it's incredible.
imagination is.
But what you also could
mind-blowing.
do for a kid that's not like that is
Right.
use figurines and use their favorite figurines. So whatever they're into, if it's cars, if it's trucks, if it's dolls, if it's princesses, like whatever, get little figurines, or if you already have them, the Barbies or whatever, and act those things out together. You don't have to think like creating this magical castle world. Act out your life.
Yeah.
Like they threw a tantrum this morning. Act that out again, but it's not, your child who threw the tantrum. Barbie threw the tantrum.
Right.
Oh, and here comes Barbie's mom, and what does Barbie's mom say? Or like Barbie's sister, right? And like I think that's a nice way
No, it's so smart.
to teach them, and then you're also playing with them at the same time.
It's so interesting because my younger son, I'm just thinking, is like way more of a physical player.
Yeah.
Like he just wants me to chase him, and he wants to jump on things and jump off of things and Hulk smash everything. And so trying to figure out like the imaginative play with that is also very different, especially when I'm tired, because I'm like, I don't want to chase you anymore.
No, and honestly, you don't have to. Like that isn't your job, right? Your job as mom is to be loving and engaging and create this very safe environment for him, but it's not to be his best friend.
I know.
And that's
hard
like
though, because
the limits and all the thing, right? But I think with him, like, let him be rough, then pick toys that he can be rough with. So if you have soft blocks, I don't know if you have any, like we have like building blocks that are soft, like let him throw those in a safe place, or let him
thrown
like
everything everywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
It sounds like we have
It's
very similar sons.
literal.
People warned me of the second son energy, and I was like, no, that's ridiculous. And
It
I'm like,
is so firstborn, secondborn, like
it's-
to a T.
They're classic.
Yeah.
They're classic.
Another listener question is how to handle the transition from play to serious.
Oh,
because
good question.
say you're playing, right? And then it's like, okay, well, now we have to go to school. Or now we have to go get ready for bed. And the kid's like, no, I want to keep playing. What would be your advice there?
Transitions are one of the hardest things to do. I think with like 1-year-olds through 5, transitions are super hard. I mean, they're always hard for every person, but we have to think like transitions are part of something called executive functioning, which I describe everything you do as an adult to get out of your bed in the morning and get to work is executive functioning. It's planning, it's like staying on task, it's getting yourself dressed. Kids don't have executive functioning tasks naturally, especially age-wise, right? Like a 1-year-old cannot dress themselves. 4-year-old should be able to, for the most part, dress themselves, but they can't. That's a whole other thing. But they can't, like, look at a clock and say, like, oh, this task is going to take me 30 minutes. I better start doing it. So we have to really help guide them in all those executive functioning tasks. It all goes under, like, self-regulation as the umbrella. So transitions are a huge executive functioning task, knowing when to stop something and then move on to something else. We're usually asking them to stop something that they're super into, play. Who doesn't want to play all day? Especially children. It's like my favorite Mr. Rogers quote about play is serious work. Like this is their work. This is really important for them. To transition from play to bed. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Right? Like they, even if they love school, have to go get dressed and get ready for school. So I think it depends. There's like really simple things you can do, but it also depends on your family and your kid. So for us, warnings is a big deal. So giving lots and lots of like warnings. But one of my mentors, I adore her. She like led my baby group. Still meet once a week or once a month to check in with her. She's an MFT. She always taught us don't parent from the couch. So don't call, and I do this all the time. You're calling from across the room, right? Hey, time to go. We're going to leave in 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Hey, we're going to leave in 1 minute. You almost ready? Okay, it's time to go. And they're like, what? And they're losing their minds because they block us out a lot. And it's not like that they're trying to not listen. They just don't. They filter our sound out because they are so, you have to think of it as like they create this perfect little bubble when they are playing, and it's so beautiful. I love it that they are so engrossed in their play they can't hear anything else. We are white noise to them. So she taught me from an early age, you get down on their like hands and knees, and you also aren't coming from that like physical space of being up here and they're down here and you're like towering over them, right? You get eye to eye. Hey, are you listening? We're leaving in 5 minutes. And I'll even sometimes with my son, because he'll go, okay. And I'm like, you didn't hear a thing. Hey, can you tell me what I just said? Repeat it back to me. We're leaving in 5 minutes. Okay. And then with him also, because time doesn't really mean
I know
much.
my son will be like, but you said 5 minutes.
Exactly. And it
So
doesn't
like,
mean
that
anything.
was 5 minutes.
Yes. Like the timer sometimes helps, doesn't really help us anymore. So what I've started doing with him is like, what's one more thing that you need to do to almost like complete the circle, the cycle, right? Like we're working on a Lego, or he's working on a Lego. What can you do? 2 more pages? And then we're going to be going. Like try to find something really quantifiable for them that they can stop and transition. Another thing that's been really helpful for us with mornings can be tough, is he's still in a pull-up at night. I'm not fighting that yet. Like it is what it is. Especially boys, they just take a lot longer.
I'm a proponent of you do whatever works for your family at whatever age it works.
Every mom I know who has a 4-year-old boy pull up at night. Everyone who's a girl, they're out of place. Like
I
it
will
is
say
what it is.
my son literally potty trained himself.
Yeah, and it
was
just
the
depends on the
weirdest
kid.
thing in the world.
Depends on the kid. My kid could
He
have
was
cared
just like,
less.
I don't want this anymore.
He would have been in a diaper forever.
Yeah.
Like I finally
My
ripped off the
second will
Band-Aid
be
at 3.
That potty training experience will be the truest test of my patience.
You can just text me because we went
I'm going to put
through
it off.
it with my first.
Yeah.
I am also a big fan of like,
We did our
don't
first
push
late.
it.
We did it so late. We were
did
the
too.
last one.
We did
because
too.
I was like, he's
Why?
not ready. Why would I rush
Exactly.
it? He won't be in diapers in college.
Right.
We'll be fine.
Right. But anyway, so I pull off the pull up, and then instead of letting him stay in pajamas, which my kid would stay in pajamas all day long if I let him, which is same.
Yeah.
I get it. But on a school day, like it's like I figured out, oh my God, that getting him out of pajamas is such a pain that I, instead of like just letting him stay in pajamas, I rip off the pajamas. We get into school clothes right away.
Okay, but are your kids not really messy breakfast eaters?
The oldest is no longer, but the youngest, it is like he wears his entire food all over his
Because
body.
I had conversations with people about this when I was saying that I was really having a hard time with mornings, like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, get them dressed right out of bed. And I'm like, but the way these kids eat their mush oatmeal, it is like not always. I mean, my second, yes. My first, like, I guess now he's kind of at the age where I could.
It gets everywhere.
It gets everywhere.
Yeah. So what
And
you
they
could
also
do
are
is
freaks about stains.
yeah, if you think about the transition pieces,
We
so
do it
the
right
transition
after
from
breakfast.
I was just gonna say transition
Yeah.
before you play. Let's throw on your clothes really
what we do.
fast.
Yeah.
Try to like sneak in the hard stuff. In a transition to a good thing,
Yeah.
you know, and then like what you do, like I'm gonna race to the car. Let's race to the car.
Right.
Let's race to put our shoes on. Try not to race the siblings against each other.
Yeah.
Because I am like the biggest proponent of siblings getting along. I could not stand it when I taught first grade, and so many parents would be like, you know, brothers, they hate each other, and I'd be like,
What?
My brothers are my best friends.
Yeah.
Like it was not tolerated in our house growing up,
Mine
and
was like,
that's
that's
what
your
we're
sister,
continuing.
you go figure
this
it
is
out.
your best friend forever. You can you don't have to get along all the time. You shouldn't get along all the time, but we can work this out together.
I also
Let's
think
figure it out.
competition within kids in the family
Yes.
can turn really
It happens
ugly.
naturally enough.
Yeah.
And having two boys, I am like hyper nervous about, I don't want them to feel, especially the younger, I don't want him to feel any kind of less than his brother, you know? And you naturally compare because that's what you do as a parent. But I'm like, try not to say it in front of them. So when we race, it's against mom and dad.
Same.
And the two of them, I try to make as a team. Like, hey, you and your brother are a team. Let's put your shoes on together and let's race mom and dad, just to try to build that bond.
I also think something that has worked for us is like finding something that excites them about that, like going from play to serious. I don't know what serious is. Like if the kid's in trouble
like, less
for something, but like
fun
the
thing.
less fun thing,
Yeah.
I would say like, for instance, for school, it's like, okay, well, what story are we gonna? They're huge on stories. They're huge on music. It's like, what are we listening to in the car today?
Love that.
It's like we got to get in the car so we can put it on.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
something like that.
Yeah.
I want to get into screens.
Yes.
Because we haven't touched on that yet, and I think it's a
big
huge
one.
part of this conversation.
Yep.
And again, I want to say this is not passing judgment. This is not making, I don't want anyone to feel less than or guilty or any of the negative emotions that we already feel so many of as parents. But I think screens play a huge role in many of the negative things that we are seeing on the rise with children in today's world. And I'm curious, like, your thoughts as an expert on this. And I want to get as granular as possible because, like, what qualifies as a screen?
Yep.
And, like, what age are we talking? Because I think that we just toss out a word, but, like, is sending a kid to their room with an iPad for 4 hours the same as, like, sitting on a couch Friday night and watching a family movie?
No screens. There's different types of screens.
Right. So can you get into that?
I'm so glad you brought this up. And like you said, we don't want to judge, but I think that in the short term, a screen feels like an easy answer.
Yeah.
But in the long term, it creates so many problems that if I could like tell any parent, as much as you can try to avoid what we'll talk about in a minute, as much as you can like put it off for as long as possible, I promise in the moment it feels harder. Like in the moment it feels a lot harder to teach your kid how to independently play than to turn on the TV or to hand them an iPad. But in the long term, like the challenges you are creating by handing them that iPad are going to be so much harder to pull back from.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's kind of like, it feels really hard to say no in the moment, but then if you constantly say yes, you're creating a snowball effect.
Totally.
So screens have become that. So we have different types of screens. Television is very different than an iPad.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with letting your kid watch TV as long as there's limits around it. And limits are huge. It depends on the family. Every family has different types of limits. In our family, my husband and I love TV. Like we are big fans of television. We binge watch a lot of TV. I recently read somebody was like, it's not great for you and your partner to sit and watch television together.
Yeah.
You should talk. I'm like, yeah, but we have young children and we are exhausted and we do plenty of talking. The way that
us
we
watch a good
bond
show.
right now is like sitting next to each
Yeah.
other, laughing over Shrinking.
I get
you
it.
know, on Apple TV. It's so good. But so there's different types of TV. There's also different types of screens. TV is really the lowest level of like, I'm fine with TV being on as long as
Within
the
that,
quality of the show
that's
is
what
good
I was gonna ask.
and the time. So we personally in our house, we have rules around TV. It is you can watch TV on Saturday mornings, although we're trying to navigate that now that the baby doesn't have a morning nap because I don't want him on a TV yet. He's only 17 months. So now we're
So when you say Saturday morning, so like how is there a time limit on
we
that?
do like an hour-ish. I'm not hard on it because there are some Saturday mornings when the baby was napping that my husband and I like needed our Saturday morning. And literally I like pour myself my tea and have my book and I have my hand around my son and we're cuddling and he is watching Thomas the Tank and I'm reading. And I think that's totally fine. Like we're having that bond together. But we did like Saturday mornings. We do the occasional like Friday night movie night. Just the three of us. And it's like fun now that he has a brother that this is like our thing with him. And then when he's sick, when we're traveling.
Okay.
Every once in a while, because it's California and it never rains, if it's a rainy day and his brother's napping, I'm like, you want to get cozy and watch a show? You know, and it's like this special thing. But because he knows these limits, he does not ask to watch TV. It is not a fight. It is like, there is no like, can I? And I'm saying no and exhausted from saying no. Because we've set this as the groundwork and it's not a thing. He also does not know that the iPad is any kind of tool except for like Netflix when we're traveling and like FaceTime. He has no clue that you play games on the iPad because I haven't told him that. He doesn't need to know.
Same.
Because you have to think of the dopamine fix. So it's kind of with playing with toys. When they're not engaged, when they're like a passive taker in, right? That's very different. But then when they're engaging with toys, with games on the iPad, there's a dopamine hit that happens.
Yep.
And you have to think as an adult, like I have been deleting Instagram off my phone for the last couple years and then I like put it back on when I want to look at something and then I delete it. I'd probably need to try the brick because I've heard amazing things about that. I am an adult. Like I am in my late 30s and I cannot stop myself from scrolling on my phone.
It's addictive.
It's so addictive to the point where this year I started putting my phone in the kitchen. That's why I didn't get your text last night. I put my phone in the kitchen. I have a whole routine now where I like don't look at my phone after like 7:30 at night. And my mom knows if there's any kind of emergency with my parents or my grandma, like she can call my husband. And the kids' monitor's right there. So I like they're safe. You know, and so unless my husband's traveling, like my phone is out of my bedroom. I am an adult and I have to physically separate myself from this. What is a kid going to do with that? They don't have that prefrontal lobe developed. Of course, they're going to be obsessed with their iPad. So it's kind of like you open the floodgates the minute you let them play with it.
Completely.
You know?
I think for us, like when it comes to iPads, we just got them for a flight we had the other day because historically our older son was using my husband's iPad and then we were like, oh, we now have two kids that like want to watch something on a plane. So we got those like Amazon Fire tablets.
Perfect.
But they have no concept that a game is on there and they believe that we rent them for the plane.
Oh, that is amazing.
So it's like, I saw it on TikTok.
I love that.
So it was like, oh, we rented these. We got our iPads for the plane.
Brilliant.
And then they get sent back. So they have no concept that we have them.
Perfect.
And I've always said, like, I feel very strongly about this and I've had to push back on whether it be like a grandparent that's watching or an aunt and uncle or whatever. Like, we don't watch things on our phone.
Yeah, that's
and
so
that's something my
smart.
husband and I sometimes will like, he'll
I'm
be like,
not
but he
great at
wanted to
that.
see it. And so I just put it on. I'm like, I don't want him knowing that you can watch something on
That's
this because
so
this is always
smart.
with me.
Yep.
The TV's not always with me. And I feel like we've done the same where we're not watching screens definitely before school and on weeknights. But my weekends have gotten a little bit away from me sometimes.
Because you're tired.
In the winter,
you
it's
want
also
a break.
fucking freezing.
Yes,
Like,
I'm in California.
We are dying right now.
We can open that
on the
back
East
door
Coast.
and they go play outside. Like
Right.
we don't have.
So,
You
like,
don't have.
They watch
that
so much
option.
less TV in the spring, summer, fall.
Yes.
But in the winter, I feel like on the weekend, we've let it get a little too much. And I notice a difference. And it's hard. And it's such a hard fight to be like, and now we're done.
Yep.
In terms of shows, I really dislike how every show targeted to my older son's age is Good Guys, Bad Guys.
I hate it.
And
I
how
can't
obsessed he
stand
is
it.
with Good Guys, Bad Guys and the whole thing.
Which is super normal for his age, by the way. But it's so
makes
annoying.
me so annoyed.
Me too. And I'm trying to have a nuanced conversation. Well, like bad guys went through difficult things.
Same.
And so that's and my husband's
he's like, "Are bad guys
he
real?"
doesn't care. Yes, and I don't
I'm
want
like,
him knowing
well, and I had this whole thing about how no, which like maybe I shouldn't have lied to him. I don't know. He came home from school after like it was like
always
helper
school. It's
appreciation
always
week, and so the
school.
police came, and I guess the police said we protect you from the bad guys, and he was like, the police said that they protect me from the bad guys, and you lied. You said bad guys aren't real, and I was like, you know, I think maybe we're talking about different types of bad guys. And he was like, well, the police knows more than you. And I was like, excuse me, sir?
There's no one
Like-
who's better at catching you than a 4-year-old.
Yes. So
And then don't, like, the guns. How do you, my
okay,
son didn't
actually,
even know what
I
a
would
gun
love to
was.
talk about this. Someone actually
Like,
just messaged me recently because I do a lot of advocacy work
Yes.
around guns.
Yep.
And someone recently messaged me and was like, how are you navigating this with a son of this age where everything suddenly becomes a gun?
Right.
And
It's wild how
I
it just
vividly
happens.
remember where I was. We were on a friend's trip with some of our kids at my friend's beach house. And I was in the bathroom and my friend came downstairs and was like, I just want to tell you because I know you're going to freak out. Your son just made a pretend gun with a Lego and was going around pretending to shoot people. And I, like, my heart sunk out of my asshole.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
And where did he learn that?
Where?
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding? So we had a whole long talk. And of course, it's a mix of these good guy, bad guy shows where, like, even if it's a Spidey, they're shooting webs. So it's like the shooting thing. And then it becomes, and then kids at school maybe have older siblings who are watching things. And then they're picking up language. And I will say, and this is a hot take, but, like, I think it's insane in today's world that we are making any form of toy gun. I don't care if it's a Nerf gun.
100%.
When we were kids were not being shot up the way that they are in
Right.
schools.
The
like,
context
these should
has
not be
changed.
toys. I don't think laser tag should be a thing anymore. Like, I feel very passionately about this. And we will never have a toy gun in our house, not even a bubble gun.
Yep.
If you want a bubble machine, it's not going to be shaped like a gun.
Our bubble machine is like a lawnmower.
Yeah, we have the same fucking one.
Except
and
that
a
they
pineapple
somehow
one.
do it to each other.
Yeah.
Because they just
And, like,
do.
so I think that there's that. And then I also have had a very serious conversation with him around, and obviously age appropriate,
Right.
but being like, a gun is a weapon.
Right.
Weapons are not toys. So I don't care what someone else is doing. I don't care what you're hearing at school. I don't care what you're seeing somewhere. Weapons are not toys. And I've now watched him when we're at, like, a friend's house who has a Nerf gun. He's like, oh, Mom, that's a weapon.
Isn't it funny how they like
And
call
I'm like, yeah,
out
I
really
wouldn't judge
loud?
this parent.
Yes.
She's my friend. Like, shut the fuck up.
Mom, you said that
Yeah.
wasn't a
Oh,
toy.
he loves that.
All the time.
Mom, you don't let me do this at our house.
I
I'm
know.
like, every house has different rules.
Every house has different
We talk
rules.
about that a
and
lot with my sister.
We do a lot of like in our family,
Yeah.
we have certain values. And in our family, it's important that we believe that X, Y, and Z, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, a huge value in our family is kindness.
Mm-hmm.
All day long, it's about kindness. Like, because he'll talk to me in this bratty tone. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I did not raise a brat. Why are you talking to me like this, right?
Yeah.
So I do a lot of like, say it again. In a
Oh, I
kind
do that.
tone. Say
Yeah.
it again in a kind tone. He does
sorry, you
this
wanna try
really-
that again?
Yes. He does this super fake, like, oh, Mommy, can I don't care.
I
He
also
tried
say,
it
like,
again.
I actually, when you whine, like, something happens in my brain.
Yes.
I can't understand
Yes,
it.
We do let, try that in a strong voice.
Like-
Where's your strong
I like that.
voice? I don't,
Yeah.
I cannot stand the whine. It kills me, but it's so normal.
Yeah.
Like, this is their age, right? And so I think you can also reframe it of like, this is a value in our family. It's really
Mm-hmm.
important in our family that we understand that guns hurt other people.
Yep.
And we believe in taking care of other people and loving other people. You know, we do a lot of like, would you want to be treated that way? Especially like
Yeah.
interactions with his brother. Or he'll come home. He sings like a canary, this child. Like,
Same.
he's so gossipy.
rat.
He will also hear me talking to my mom or somebody on the phone. He'll run from the other room and he'll go, what was that? I'll go, oh my gosh. He'll run opposite end of the house. What happened? What? I'm like, you are such a gossip. But also copy paste. So we do a lot of like, you know, in our family, we treat, how do you want to be treated, right? In our family, we think about how other people are feeling. We want to be kind. So you can kind of have that whole conversation there. But it's hard because, like, we showed him Toy Story. We were so excited to show him these classic Disney movies.
Yep.
And then I'm like, oh my God, the toy soldiers. And then he's like, what are those?
Well,
What
also
are
Woody.
soldiers?
He's got a gun.
Woody, yes.
Stick him
that
up,
somehow
Woody.
went over his head. I don't know why,
not
but
mine.
like the army guys. He's
Yeah.
like, what's an army guy?
Sarge,
You know,
yeah.
I'm like, well, and so I'm trying to explain that. But
Mm-hmm.
like in his little world, he doesn't know about wars. He doesn't know
Right.
about pain. He doesn't know about trauma. And I want to keep him bubbled. So it's hard. But like I took him to the Nutcracker. It was such a great experience to like show him a live theater experience. He loved it for the most part, got a little bored at the end, but he handled it so beautifully. What did he take away from that? The Mouse King fighting with a sword. And everything was like, I'm the Mouse King. I'm going to get you with the sword. I'm like, oh my God, are you
we
kidding?
do
Like
a
the
lot of,
one
there
thing
is a
you
lot
took
of
away.
swords because we're big on
Yes.
Peter Pan right now.
Yes,
but
but
like for
my
some reason
husband
I'm
was like-
kind of less I don't know. The gun thing is such a trigger for me.
I'm with you. And my husband was like, assorted. It's not. He's like, this is just boys. Like, and I don't love the boys being boys, but there is a different energy that happens. I have a lot of cousins, and a lot of them have girls, and like when they are together, it is so apparent. Like, it's so different, right? And he's like, let them fight with their little swords, as long as they're being kind to each other and they're not like, they know it's pretend play, you know. So you have to find what works for your family and what feels comfortable. But with the TV and movies, I think, you know, I can tell you what I allow in my house. I was going to say, what shows
are you loving?
But everybody is different, right?
Yeah.
So I've been really, and I love Disney, and I like am so ready to show him some Disney. Like, I'm ready. I think Peter Pan will be perfect. We did Jungle Book, and he loved Jungle Book.
Peter Pan has
see, this is what you don't think.
Questionable scenes.
You don't think about it.
My kids are obsessed with the 1950s version, and there are many scenes where I have to be like, hey, that's actually really not nice, like how that happened. I mean, there's like so much racist undertone. So like having that conversation is a whole
How do you have
thing.
like a conversation about indigenous people?
Yeah. Like my son the other day, I was talking and he looked at dad and goes, girls talk too much, right? And I go, excuse me? What did you just say?
And
I got mad. And he was like, Mom, Peter says it to Wendy and she agrees. And I was like, oh my God, you're so right. When she's like sewing back on his shadow. And I was like, okay. Just because Peter says it to Wendy, that's actually not nice.
I know.
That was not nice of him to say.
There's
and so
a
then
lot
when we
of
watched
that.
it again, when the line happens, I was like, and that's not nice, Peter.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, Peter. So
and you turn it into teachable
old Disney
moment.
movies are real hard.
Yep.
And even new ones. We just turned on Elio or whatever the other day. The first freaking scene, the kid's parents die.
Why?
And he's left alone with his aunt.
And we're in a big obsessive with death stage.
Oh my God.
Everything
we went through
is
such
about
a deep death.
Yes.
Every time I kiss him goodnight. But Mommy, what if you die? What if I never see you again? Are you going to die today, do you think? When is Daddy going to die? Are you going to die before Daddy or is Daddy going to die before you?
100%. So I've gotten like really tight on what we watch, and he loves rewatching stuff. So I'm great with that. So we have, my mom has old Thomas the Tank, like the old stuff from when my brother, who's now 28,
we have all of his Thomas the Tank trays.
And so he got super into that, and I went on eBay to find, because they don't make them anymore. It's all stupid plastic and battery operated, where they just press it and it goes. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, this took such a beautiful toy, it made it so dumb. So I found a bunch of stuff on eBay. So he's super into, it's kind of a silly show. It's called All Engines Go on Netflix, but it's very sweet. Is it my favorite? No, but like, there's nothing negative about it. You know what I mean? So he does that. I love like Little Bear. It used to be on Nick Jr. Again, when my youngest brother was little. I'm 9 years older than him, so we're like very much different stuff that we had when he was little. It's just very like Little Bear, Maurice Sendak. It's the books. I don't know if you know. They're classic books. The show itself is like painted. You know how the old stuff was like painted? It's quiet. Like the music is quiet. Okay. And so it's very like, Duck will be like, what do you want to do today, Bear? And it's like, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. I don't know, Duck. What do you want to do? It's like very low stimulation, because that's my biggest complaint of today's TV is it's like
Spidey and Friends
in
is like
your face. Yes. So I tried Spidey Yodo card, because it was like, oh, everybody who's 4 loves Spidey. Played it one time and he was like, wait, why do they want to capture that guy? Why is that guy in trouble? Wait, that guy is like not nice. Like his little brain started spiraling, and I was like, oh, it doesn't work anymore. I'll send it to the store.
My 2-year-old will say, bad guy's coming. Bad guy's coming.
Yes.
Okay, but you're a Daniel Tiger fan, I'm assuming?
Huge. Pretty much anything PBS, you cannot go wrong. It is like, they use child development experts. They use literacy experts, Sesame Street. He's not into Sesame Street, but like, so great. So I would just say, for anyone, decide what your values are in your family and pre-watch. Because I don't always pre-watch. I don't. I regret it every time.
It always kicks me in the ass.
Yes, same.
Or like, he'll be like, well, Paca and Maxie let me watch this when I was, and I'm like, when?
Yeah.
So like, he's asking for this new show, and I'm like, when did you see this?
God bless. But I will say, when your kid independently plays and loves to play, they don't often ask to watch TV.
No, they don't. But like, we do Friday family movie night, and so we try to watch new movies. So literally yesterday, I was like,
it's so fun.
Let's watch Shrek tonight. Yes. Like, you haven't seen it. And he was like, I've seen it. And I was like, no, you haven't. He was like, I saw it with Paca. I didn't really like it. And I was like, what was it about? And he's like, this big guy. And I was like, was there a donkey or a monkey in it? And he was like, a donkey. And I was like, what color was the big guy? And he's like, green. I saw the movie. And I was like, okay, I guess you
You're
did.
like, gosh darn it.
I want to quickly get into like the kindergarten aspect of
Yes.
things because as a parent of a kindergarten age child,
And I bet all you're hearing about is kinder readiness.
yes.
Yes.
What should a kid at this age actually, like, what should we be focused on as parents? Because I see so many parents doing like Kumon tutoring and like, oh, well, my kid knows how to read and write and la 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 in preschool. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So what should we as parents actually have our child doing or prepared for going into kindergarten?
Yes. Play. And I'm going to give you my thesis and tell you why it's so important. But also, I just want to say when parents say that their kid is reading, I guarantee you they're like kind of lying or over exaggerating.
I'm like, how could it be reading?
They're
I'm so
not.
sorry.
They're not. A lot of parents who don't know don't realize that kids memorize books.
My son can
Like
recite
insane memory.
the book that you told me to get.
Yes.
Was it in my closet?
Yes.
He can recite not
Entire.
reading it. I turn the page and he recites from start to finish. I meant to send you a
incredible.
video.
It's incredible.
So yes, I don't
It's
think
my
I would ever
favorite.
believe that he's reading.
No.
He wouldn't know.
So I
everything.
do think of like it would be like my sister-in-law has a gosh, is he 3 months now? I think he's 3 months. So we've talked so much, like almost every day, as she's working through like the not sleep and all this stuff, right? And she's like, this person said they slept through the night at 8 weeks, and I said they're lying. Like they are sleep deprived. They don't know what they're talking about. People exaggerate. People, what is sleep through the night? Oh, that baby slept from
12 to
midnight
5.
to 8 a.m. But did you still fed them asleep at 5 a.m. Like, don't believe it, right? Don't get in the circle of it, the rabbit hole of it. So the biggest thing with kindergarten is you want to kind of think about academics as not rote memorization, but foundation. So in play, what they're doing is we think, oh, they're just playing. But like when they are stacking their Hot Wheels up and you casually say to them like, oh my gosh, how many Hot Wheels do you have? And they're counting their Hot Wheels. That is such a beautiful foundation for number sense. We take a lot of walks to survive with 2 boys. And like Friday's our trash day. Thursday, all the trash cans are out in the alley in the late afternoon. So we walk the alley and we count like, oh, that house has 3 trash cans out. That house is 4. And I'm like, which house has more? Which is the more trash cans, right? He's like putting context and meaning to what these numbers actually mean. I could say to him like, what's 3 + 1 and have him memorize 3 + 1, but it means nothing to a 4-year-old. It means something when you put context into it. So when they're playing with numbers, when they're playing with like, I told you I do a lot of like sound practice. We do a lot of, when we're driving, we play a lot of like sound games. So we'll do like, banana. What's another word that has the same beginning sound as banana? And then like we go back and forth with each other. We do a lot of like rhyming. I taught them like syllables. All those like really simple little games are foundational so that, I recently like was looking in a book and I showed him like a letter and was like, do you know what that letter is? And he was like, oh yeah, that's an R. And I was like, didn't know you knew that. But it's because I'm planting all these tiny seeds and they're sponges. They take it all in. So when they play and they have the opportunity to play with you, to play by themselves, to play with their peers, they're building that foundation. And it's not like the academic readiness is not in the intensive tutoring. It's in the small moments with you. And you as the adult and the caregiver can be intentional. So like, you're walking, running errands. I'm a big advocate for running errands with your kids. I think it's important for parents to get their break on naps. And I think it's important for kids to be in the world, learn how to be in the world, be a part of being a family. Like they need to know the food doesn't just show up on the table. Like we're all part of a family. We all coexist together. We make this happen together. So you're in the grocery store. Talk about how this apple is deep red and that apple is bright red, and you're giving them the vocabulary of like dark, deep red, bright red. Ooh, an apple is juicy. What does an apple taste like? What does an apple feel like? What does it look like? You're teaching 5 senses. You show them numbers on, the like this costs $8.15 or whatever. Do you know what that is? That's an 8. Let's talk about 8. Let's look at 8 fingers. Like kind of bringing in the real world and giving them context for everything. In learning, we have something called schema in like learning theory, which basically means that we have mind maps in our brain. So whatever you know ahead of time, if you add a new piece of information to something you already know, like a map you already have, the chances are that you're going to remember it longer. So, if I talked to you about, what was the sport? I know you played a lot of sports growing up. Lacrosse. I know nothing about lacrosse. So I have like I can picture the like swinging thing, but I am like the least athletic person on the planet.
And a ball?
Yes.
Okay.
I know nothing, right? So if you started talking to me about lacrosse,
Yeah.
it would go in one ear and out the other
Right.
because they have nothing to land it on, essentially.
Yeah.
But if I started talking to you about lacrosse and I added some new information, I wouldn't be able to because I know nothing about lacrosse, but you would be able to like expand on that, you
Right.
know? So we do that with our
makes sense.
kids. Doing flashcards of letters means nothing to them, but showing them letters as a part of their name or in a book or, you know, I'm a really big fan of sound play, like give them a lot of the sound because when we learn to read, we actually are tapping into the learning or the language piece of our brain. So it's all interconnected.
Okay.
So when we play with words and we play with sounds and we rhyme and we do like singing and nursery rhymes and all that, it all connects. And I'm not talking about like if you there's so much research to support early intervention. So if you have a kiddo who's neurodiverse, who has a learning difference, like
I'm a huge early intervention fan.
yes, we need targeted intervention there. But actually, even still, it's going to start with like sound practice, games.
Yeah.
You don't want to like force rote memorization on a poor kiddo who's 6 and has dyslexia. Like you want to play games and help them learn that way.
We did early intervention from a physical standpoint.
Yeah.
And when I would be in there, like we weren't in the room with them, but we would get videos and, you know, we'd obviously unpack it with the therapist after the session. It's all play based.
All play.
And I would
That's
also
how kids
see
learn.
what they were doing with other kids who were more like working on potential verbal stuff. It's everything is play.
I've heard parents complain about speech. Like the speech therapist is just playing with them. And I'm like, that's how children
they're learning.
learn. When they're playing, they're exploring, they're discovering, their brain is making connections. And it's interesting and meaningful for them.
Yeah.
If they're not interested, you may as well just be talking to a wall.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to get anything.
I'm thinking about this one day where we were like waiting for coffee at this coffee shop at the beach, my older son and I, and it was, I don't know what summer it was, but I was surprised. Like, I didn't think he knew really all of his letters.
Yeah.
And we were sitting there and they had all these coffee bags and like the big letter of whatever it was. And I'd be like, okay, ready, set, find a B. And he would go and like find a bag and then race back. And I'd be like, ready, set, find a C. And like he thought it was so fun. And I was like, wow, you actually know your letters? Like,
Yes.
ooh, school is working.
Yes. It's so cool.
Yeah, but like finding a game aspect to play there.
Lovevery, speaking of, their
Yeah.
reading sets have really great games.
Okay.
But they're also expensive. So
Yeah.
there's super, super simple games you can find on like Pinterest and online. I need to do a whole Substack on like, I just had a friend ask me, can you do a
know.
Substack of
Yeah,
like
let's do the next
actual
one
stuff
on
that you
I'm
can
like constantly
learn?
texting you, be like, can you do Substack
Yeah,
on this?
yeah, but it's all games, and don't like.
Right.
Please do not pull out flashcards with your 4-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
You should not. Kumon is great because you do need like to read fluently. You need to be able to look at a word and not have to sound it out. You need to know it like this, right? So there's nothing wrong necessarily with rote memorization when it's developmentally an appropriate time.
What age
So
is
like.
that?
I think like Kumon is okay as long as you're not like shoving it down their throats in like first grade to help them with, you know, sight words and like addition facts. But anything up to first grade, like keep it play because, and this is like, the hard part is that we are fighting against an American school system that forces academics way too early. And then we all get panicked and we all spiral. And then we're hiring the tutors with our 3.5 and 4-year-olds.
But like alongside that, we're also facing a literacy crisis.
Exactly.
Which is
confusing. And it's because things are not lining up. So there's so much research that shows, though, when you give them a foundation of play and they're doing meaningful work in that play, that they may go to kindergarten without, you know, being able to sound out every, you know, the words. But the minute they're given those pieces, they like fly. You know, like the foundation is there. But like your son, you didn't even know he knew all those letters, but he had all the pieces there.
He goes
and
to
then
a
it
very
clicks.
academic school, so like it's not surprising
And then there's that.
they're
Yeah.
doing it.
Yeah.
In terms of the literacy crisis, how can we combat this as parents of the next generation?
Yeah.
'Cause, like you'll see on TikTok sometimes people being like, wait, I'm supposed to read to my kid? Like I have to send you some of these videos.
Okay, that's scary.
And like people in the comments being like, either like, yes, what do you mean? Or people being like, oh, I didn't know I was supposed to be doing this.
Okay. Number one, please read to your child all the time. That is like That makes me want to cry.
I know.
It's like the number one.
Okay, so
Number one thing, read.
read to your kid.
Read. Language
Give
is
it goal.
so important.
That I would say read a book a day.
At least a book a day.
Yeah.
There's this really cool study that was like 1,000 books by kindergarten.
I
but
saw this,
actually,
yeah.
if you think about it, it's just a book a day.
Right.
Like it can be the same book. Parents are always like, rereading isn't great. No, rereading is so good. It helps them anticipate. They know, they memorize, which is really good. Reading is a connection builder. It is like the vocabulary builder. One of the biggest issues with reading comprehension that we're starting to find, there's a lot of like strategies that people use for reading comp in like 4th, 5th, even 3rd grade. It's like make a connection and find the setting, all of that.
Yeah.
Great. But actually, if kids don't know the words that they're reading, they can't understand anything they're reading. So the number one thing is building vocabulary. How do you build vocabulary? You talk and you read all the time. Audiobooks count.
Okay.
And I'm like a big audiobooks count as reading.
Same.
Period. Because I know people do not agree, but a book is a book is a book. You're getting the language, you're hearing the like syntax, meaning like the grammar, how sentences are put together. You're getting the like problem solution, the characters, the feelings, all the pieces. So read to your kids. That's like the number one thing you can do as a parent. Create a culture in your home of loving books. And you can do that in a lot of small, simple ways, like going to the library is great, but following their interest when you go to the library. Don't like shove books down their throats that maybe you loved, but introduce it. But if they don't like it, don't force them to read it. Follow what they're obsessed with. Like Yoda has been one of my favorite purchases ever.
We love Yoda.
Ever. And it's because they have so many things that my kid loves. So it's like the gateway drug into audiobooks. I start with the thing that he loves, and then I've started bringing in other ones that he doesn't know, and he's so into it because he already is into the audiobook piece.
Yep.
So find books that they love and run with it, and then have books in your home. But like I made the mistake of, we had a bunch of books in bookshelves. We have like, our rule in our home is, being careful about money, of course, because family of 4, but one thing that does not matter, like doesn't count in the budget, is books.
Yeah.
I take full advantage of that rule from my stingy husband, and he recently was like, maybe you need to amend that rule. It's like, no.
Nope.
Family value books.
Yeah.
So like I had everything on a bookshelf, and I was realizing my son was having a hard time like picking out books. And so I went and I got one of those like preschool display bookshelves from
like the stack
Pottery
kind of
Barn.
things.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's another switch out. I'll pull out like 10 at a time. They get so into it because they can see it, and then I'll switch them out with 10 others.
We have that in my younger son's room, like 2 shelves, and he's like, he sits in his chair and he's like, that one. And then at night we are doing 5. He's like, okay, now cricket,
and
now
it's
basketball.
so hard to stop.
And I'm like, we
have to go to bed. So I'm also a big advocate of sneaking in books in every other scenario, because we're like, bedtime is so hard and exhausting that we don't get to 5 books at bedtime because everybody's tired and losing it. So I do a lot of like read during meals. When they're sitting in, and whether it's me, whether it's nanny, whether it's dad, like it's kind of nice because sometimes like, what do you talk about after a while? And then they start getting annoyed with each other, and right? So we read books, and then we have like conversations during the story. It's like story hour during meals. I have books in the car. I have books in my purse. I have books like everywhere, and they're always a part of our lives.
Yep.
And it's everything in parenting is like planting the seed, right? So you plant the seed of like, books are a positive thing. Books are a good thing. With my first, we can't do it as much with the second. Oh, my poor baby. But like when I transitioned from nursing and we got him off the bottle in the mornings when he turned 1, and we switched to like the cup, it became a like snuggle in bed, the 3 of us. You have your cup of milk, we read books. Yeah. And I think that just set the tone for like, he's obsessed with books.
My nephew is
obsessed
such
with
a bookworm.
Yeah.
Such a bookworm where I'm like jealous.
Yeah. And I do think, a lot of people say, oh, you can't force kids to like books. And I take a big caveat with that. I say like, no, actually, there are things you can do to get kids into books. There is a book. I like truly believe there's a book for every person in this world. You just have to find it. So I don't care if your kid is older and they're like pushing back on reading graphic novels. Or like, even if you think the book is dumb, like Captain Underpants is the dumbest book in the world. Boys freaking love that book. Let them read the dumb Captain Underpants book. Find a book on their like favorite sports hero. Like there is something for everyone. You just have to do a little work to find it,
I want to switch paths a little bit more just for you, for our Filling Your Cup segment. As a busy mom and professional, how do you personally fill your cup?
I love reading.
I was just going to say,
no one is surprised. I joke that I have no hobbies except for like reading.
That's
because
fine.
work,
That's a great hobby.
Work is so
Yeah.
fulfilling for me, and I've also stretched myself, as I've told you in the last year. Like you encouraged me to do a little social media, which is such a stretch for me. But like writing on Substack has been a fun creative outlet. I used to write all the time, and I haven't in so long, so it's been fun. But I love reading. I always have. Like I was the nerd in 7th grade reading at recess, which
I love
is
that.
so me.
What are you reading right now and loving?
Okay, so I just finished, what is the book I just finished? Oh, Little One by Olivia Munter. I think I'm saying her name right. She's actually an Instagram follow that I love. She just published that. I just started The Paper Palace, which was a big deal a few years ago. But a 2026 goal for me was like, okay, I mean, we moved in late 2024, and I feel like we've been hemorrhaging money, like house projects and moving and second kid. And like, I want to talk my husband into a third baby. So, and he's very stingy. So he's like, well, we got to tighten things up, right? So one of my goals for 2026 is not spend so superfluously. Like, I feel like I own too much shit. Like I have too many clothes. I have too much crap in my house. Like I'm getting rid of stuff. I need to stop buying. I took Amazon off my phone. Like,
Smart.
it's just because it was just so easy. Buy, right there. So I'm trying to use the library more. I'm a big library on my Kindle fan. I use it all the time.
Do you use the Libby app?
But a huge Libby app fan. I am such a nut. I have more than one Kindle. So I will have like one Kindle where I like download my new stuff, put it on airplane mode. That's my trick.
Yeah. So then
and then I have my like a Kindle that I can upload the new stuff that comes in.
Yes.
Psycho. But I'm trying to like use my physical library books. And so I'm going into like old books that were a big deal a few years ago that I never got to. So I like just read, do you know Ann Patchett, the author?
No.
One of my favorites. She just, what was the book last year? Tom Lake is what she came out with recently. I think you would love it. It's all about motherhood and like reflecting back on your life as a mom. It's beautiful.
Okay.
But I read one of her ones from like early 2000s.
Yeah.
I think it was State of Wonder.
I'll
So
link
that's my
everything.
like getting off my phone, turning my brain off. I've always struggled with anxiety. So reading helps with that because it's such a like calming, centering. I love though the smut world. You and I have talked about that.
We do love the smut world.
I give credit for my second son for smut.
Same. I want to do a few rapid fire questions.
Yes.
Current favorite book for your kids?
Oh my gosh, that's such a hard one. Oh, we have so many. We just got The Library Cat. I had never heard of it. I found it at our like local independent bookstore, all about a little cat who wants to go in the library and read, and the librarian keeps kicking him out, and then the kids love reading with him. It's so cute, and it's because my sons love cats. I don't know why I'm so deathly allergic, but they are obsessed with this book, and it's all about the library, and like they love the library. It's really sweet. But we also love Lovevery books.
Yeah.
Those are in high rotation. I do like the book bundle because it's something about the real kid with the real lessons. So one we're reading multiple times a day right now is You Decide, where the little girl is like fooling around and you pick, is she going to get in her car seat or is she going to go be silly and sit in another seat? And then my son loves picking when she's naughty and like, oh, she didn't do the right thing. Let's go back and have her pick. And it's been so nice because when he's fooling around, because we are like lollygagging
Always.
up the wazoo right now and it's driving me nuts. I'm like, oh, what did the little girl do? And she missed out on seeing the trash truck in the book. So those have been so amazing.
Favorite family game?
We did just start doing board games.
Yeah.
So like Shoots and Ladders has been at one. But my sister-in-law just gave us a charades game and we haven't opened it yet.
I actually have to send you Emmer's.
Ooh, yes.
It is, she's incredible and she has 3 books and a board game. And my son is obsessed with the board game. And it's all about like emotions and emotional
I think you
intelligence.
posted about this. Yes, send
I'll
it
send
to
it to
me,
you.
please.
Favorite family movie?
He loves The Jungle Book.
Oh, we haven't done that yet.
Loves The Jungle Book. The second half is scary with the fire. Fire's an issue for us because we had a lot of friends lose their houses in the Palisades. So we kind of like skipped through the second half. But the whole first half, especially like Mowgli and Baloo dancing in the monkey scene.
Okay.
He could watch that 5,000 times.
One toy that you'd throw out forever if you could.
Oh my gosh. Anything with sound. And batteries. I hate it.
Same.
Hate it so much. Right now it's that damn farm, Little People farm that he's just pressing the button on all day.
Mine's like the purple monkey. Key takeaway that you want parents to leave this episode feeling?
I want them to feel relief And I hope that we didn't like stress them out. That's
No, I
the
think
opposite.
this was like,
I want them to feel relief. Like you don't need to go put your kid in tutoring to get them ready for kindergarten.
Yeah.
Let them play, let them interact with other people, let them learn like regulation skills, like involving them in chores and talking about sounds with them and counting things. That's all you need to do to get ready for kinder, you know, and really focusing on your kid being a good person.
yeah.
And I want them to just like take a breath, you know, and know that it's hard to be a parent, but it's also like we make it a lot more complicated than
Agreed.
it needs to be.
Agreed.
You know.
Thank you so much for
This was
coming on
so
here. For people who want more
wonderful.
of you, where can they best support you?
Well, thanks to you.
Plug your
I am
socials.
now on
I was
Instagram.
like, we need social. If I'm, because I was like, if I'm tagging you all this Quiet Your Mind Kids stuff, like we need social.
No, I'm just so bad at it. I'm like
No
the
one's bad at
least
it. There's no good
creative
or bad.
person. So I'm on Instagram at Dr. Jennaca Cotton, and then on Substack. I think it's my name on Substack.
We'll
and
link
then
it.
yeah, Learning in Life is like the name of my
so
Substack, and I
good.
just like talking about motherhood and my own reflections, and like I'll do some like practical stuff, but I also did an essay around the miscarriages that I went through around in October. So I don't know, it's just been a creative outlet, and it's just been lovely to like interact. People on Substack are really lovely.
They are.
Really lovely to
They are.
interact with. And then and of course Instagram is always really fun. And
Okay. Well, everything will be in the show notes.
Thank you. I
so much.
appreciate it.
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode of Conversations with Cam. This is truly my favorite part of my job, and I have so much fun chatting with you all. If this episode resonated with you in some way, please feel free to leave a comment if you're listening on Spotify, or rate and review the show on Apple. Make sure you're subscribed so you're notified when we release a new episode every Wednesday morning. And if you think that a friend would enjoy this episode, please send it their way, because you guys are truly the best assistants in helping this show grow. And of course, come follow us over on social at Cameron Oakes Rogers on Instagram and TikTok, and then at Conversations with Cam on Instagram. I appreciate you so much, and I will see you next week with a new episode.